Hi guys, welcome to Friends Don't Gatekeep. My name is Honey.
And I'm Bree, and we have another guest with us today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Mori. I'm a singer-songwriter in the indie folk scene based in New York, and I'm super excited to be here.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we're so excited to have you.
So Maury, how did you get started in music?
Oh, um, I started basically my older sister, she's 6 years older than me. She got into like musical theater when we moved to the States, and I kind of just copied whatever she was doing. Except I started when I was like 7, 8 years old. And yeah, I mainly got into singing, like watching, back when Disney Channel used to play like full length music videos
Mm-hmm.
between, yeah, the commercial breaks. Like Selena Gomez was a big one, I think. Demi Lovato, Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift. Like those were my big four girls that kind of, I don't know, led me to pursue everything I'm doing now.
Oh my
Awesome.
gosh. Yeah.
So what are some artists, like bigger or smaller, that inspire your work right now?
Wow. We're starting off so so deep already. Okay, I think like I did like a little radio slot with my friend Romy last week, and we talked a bit about this because I think that there's like two groups of artists that I pull from a lot, and it's hard because the first group are artists that really, really inspired me and like my sonic palette growing up. But I don't make music that sounds anything like them. So those would be like your Frank Oceans, like Tiana Taylor, her. There's a lot of like R&B artists, a lot of musical theater artists that I also pull from, like Sarah Bareilles, that are old influences that will stay with me, I think, forever because they like were the first artists to have an impact on me and my ears. So I think like the foundational layer of like who I am musically are those people. And then kind of going into the songwriting realm and the indie niche that I kind of fell into in the last 3 years, I would say. You have your Ciro's, Leith Ross, Jensen
Yes.
McRae, Isabel Pless, Lizzy
Wow.
McAlpine. Like I could go on and on. Um, I think more of my when I first got to Berklee, it was Isabel Pless, Leanna Firestone, Madeline the Person, a bit more like theatrical writers, I would say. Um, yeah, I mean, I could talk about that forever and ever, but I think I'll leave the list at that and we can talk about more as we go.
Oh my gosh, everyone you named I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're all perfect.
So Maury, can you sing Requiem from Dear Evan Hansen for us?
Oh my God. Um, can I tell you? I actually tried. So I posted this on my Instagram. I was gonna do like a whole series where I would recreate old self tapes and like old auditions that I didn't book. And back in, when was it that I went to Portland last? It was like in March, April. I tried to sing Requiem from that self tape, and I was like, oh my god, I sounded so much better at 17. Like I cannot start this series because I'm just gonna feel like shit about myself. So that did not make it out of the vault. But that is my musical theater lore is extensive.
Yes,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
That's so funny.
We got a tip from somebody. Um, do you feel like your music is influenced by like your identity or your background in any way, and how so, if so?
I don't know. I think I actually get this question a lot, mainly from like my family back home. So I was born in Buenos Aires in Argentina, and I moved around like 8 million times before we came to Portland, Oregon, which is where I grew up before going to Boston. Um, and a lot of people ask me if I write or like would write or sing in Spanish ever. And as much as that is who I am, I also feel like it would be a bit inauthentic for me personally because all of my um all of the language that I use to express myself and like my academic vocabulary and like every witty twist that I put on my writing and all of those spins, that knowledge happened in English because when I moved to the States, I was in ESL for like 5 years, which is why I sound the way that I do now. But yeah, I think it'd be hard. It's something that I would be interested in, but yeah, I mean, obviously, who I am and where I'm from is going to influence
Yeah.
what I listen to, what I grew up around. So in that sense, 100%. But in terms of like the actual Spanish of it all, I'm not sure.
Interesting.
So which song of yours is your favorite? And also, I wanted to tell you my favorite song of yours, which is like the Daddy, I started a war in this house.
No way.
That's like my favorite song of yours.
Oh my God, that's so that one was actually a contender to be on my last EP and I cut it. So,
No.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um and it also is cut from the next project I'm releasing, but I'm considering putting it on like the project after that one.
Okay. Um,
Um that's crazy. I didn't think anyone liked that song.
that's my favorite song.
Okay, good to know. I'm like, um, I would say my favorite song of my own. That is such a tough question. I think a lot of what I'm writing now that I have not yet released is my favorite. There's definitely a few in that bunch that I'm like, either they're like fun for me to write, or they're like fun to sing.
Mm.
Either way, they like if they you know when a song like just feels good in your voice like when you're singing it,
Mhm.
it's either that feeling or I'm like, oh, this was witty, like this is funny, this is cute. um but yeah, the ones that are out right now, I think honestly like my first EP, sorry, this is kind of a deep cut, but my first EP, like Mean and My Only Comfort are always going to be some of my favorites just because they meant so much to me to write at the time. Like back then, I remember being like, I'm never going to write anything better than this ever in my whole life, which not true, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. It changes. It changes a lot depending on how much I'm performing them live, and um I think it's also important to like give songs like a new life sometimes. Like if I catch myself getting sick of some like that happened with Hospital Room.
Mhm.
After a while I was like, I don't want to perform it at any shows, like I'm sick of it. So sometimes it's just like worth sitting down and like, playing around, getting some new like ad libs in, new riffs. So yeah, I don't know. That's such a roundabout non-answer to that question, but let's just say those two for my first EP, and then probably The Hill I Die On was an impactful one for me to write. I don't know if I'll say it's like my favorite,
Mhm.
but yeah.
I
Cool.
love those. Oh my gosh.
Kind of leading into that, what is your creative process when it comes to writing music?
Um, I would say I am 100% through and through a lyrics first girl. I've always been that way. I actually struggle. Like if I'm ever experiencing writer's block or I'm like burnt out, it's because I'm not finding like a progression or a melody that I like.
Mhm.
It's hardly ever a lyrical issue. There's a lot of songs that I scrap. That's not to say that like every single lyric I write I love. It's just that I write lyrics every day.
Mhm.
And most of the time I have no melody in mind. I'll like think of something, I'll see something in a TV show, I'll hear something in a conversation. Um, Usually it's the TV show thing, weirdly enough. But yeah, I'll see something somewhere, it'll like click with some part of my brain, and then like a couple hours later, I'm like, ooh, and I'll write the first kind of like topic sentence or first song seed, as we called them at Berklee. But um, yeah, that's why a lot of my songs narratively, like they read top down, and usually it's not until the end of the chorus that you get into like the
Mm.
like the
Mhm.
period. But yeah, I typically, like I said, I write every day. I keep everything in my notes app, and then anytime I'm feeling like I need to write, like something has to change, which is maybe at this point like once a week. I would say I sit down with my guitar and I kind of like fiddle around with different chords, different tunings until I find something I like, and then I dive into my phone and see which one is like hitting me the most that day, and I'll right from there.
Cool.
Gosh. I've never met anyone that does lyrics first. Everyone I know does melody first, so that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I do lyrics
Well,
first.
Really?
Yes.
Mm.
yeah.
So you're like one of my favorite musicians of all time, but you're also a really talented dancer. So how was that?
That's not a sentence I've ever heard. Like, um, yeah, I grew up in dance. Like I said, I like copied everything my sister did growing up, and in musical theater, it was kind of just like natural to do like voice lessons, choir, theater, like plays, all that after school, and then dance kind of was a natural next step as well. And all of my friends were dancers. I went to a a middle school that was actually 6th through 12th grade called ACMA,
Oh my God.
and that stands for Arts and Communication Magnet Academy, which makes it sound like way fancier than it was. It was like a hallway with like adjacent rooms, and it was in like downtown Portland, severely underfunded, especially like the choir and like vocal program. But it was really dance heavy. So all my friends were just phenomenal dancers. So yeah, I got like really, really into it and I competed for a while. And I found that I liked the hip hop style a little bit more because I didn't have to like have like perfect pointed toes and like be super flexible. And it allowed me to like do the music thing at much lower stakes because I wasn't so much performing, I was just moving.
Mhm.
So whenever I was like in my head about music as my career, it was like I still could connect to music through a different outlet, which was cool for me. So I always kind of come home to dance in one way or another.
Aw, so wait, what I'm hearing is we're getting a Tate McRae vibe in the next music video.
I like wish that I wrote pop music sometimes solely so that I could go on tour and like have something to dance to. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that's in my future or not.
Have like one dance number each show.
Right. Exactly.
So what do you hope to accomplish by this time next year?
Um, well, I would hope that this damn album is out. It's been pushed back for several different reasons, but it is coming, so that's exciting. I'm sure that'll be out. And then I would also hope that, I don't know, I would love to tour more. I actually hate performing. I really don't like it, but it's something I want to get better at, and the only way to do that is continue doing it. So, yeah, I think I could definitely use some more practice. And I do love like once I'm there and I'm singing and I'm meeting people, that part of it's all fun. But the prep of it all and the, like scrambling to find rehearsal rooms and musicians and all this stuff is like my least favorite. But hopefully I will have done like some sort of mini headline tour or like booked an opening slot for like a mid-size artist that I really love. Um, what else? I don't know. I want to keep doing like this kind of stuff as well, do more podcasts, talk more with people, and obviously just keep writing, I think, forever. I want to like also turn the corner in songwriting in the context of writing with and for other people. That's kind of an avenue that I have yet to really explore. I've co-written before, but like not ever in a super serious way, and I would love to figure out how to break into those rooms over the next year. So I guess that's a goal.
Ooh, yes, I'm excited. Um, so your song "The Hill I Die On," it's kind of like your most popular song, would you say, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, um, how did you feel like when Lizzy McAlpine reposted your song on her story?
That was crazy. So Lizzie, being like a Berklee girl, was kind of always lingering around my circle. Like she knows a lot of the same people. She's actually an artist that I didn't really get into until her second album. Mainly because I just had like a lot of imposter syndrome and like really neurotic things happening in my brain that like inhibited me from really enjoying her music. And that happened with a lot of artists. And thankfully, I'm past that part of my life. But yeah, it was nuts. That is something that for so long, I think there was like a lot of jealousy involved for me and Lizzie's career, and I've talked about this a bit before, and at this point it's like really just funny. But yeah, she was someone that kind of popped onto the scene out of nowhere on TikTok with like her third video was the 1975 song, which went super viral, and rightfully so. Like she's an incredible fucking songwriter. I just can't, everything that she ever does, I'm like, wow. And I also heard her live once before. She sounds exactly how she sounds everywhere else. Like you think it's a joke and you're like, oh yeah, like easy to achieve like that kind of clarity. No. That's just how she sounds. Like she's got this natural like EQ about her. But what was I saying? Where did I go with that? How do I go back? Basically, oh yeah, she had posted her third video on TikTok, and I was like sort of eye twitching because I had been on TikTok since it was Musically posting like my songs and all that. So I was like, huh, okay. But yeah, we had a lot of weird like synchronicities line up. Like we were just like pretty much always going out for the same things, it seemed, in my own brain, right? Again, this is like really deranged of me and like very one-sided. Like she has no clue about this. She did not know that this was happening. But yeah, once I got into her music for real, it was like game over for me. She's like now one of my like textbook Bibles in terms of artists that I listen to and study. So seeing her repost, that was a huge deal for me and just like really kismet and funny. And sorry, I'm yapping forever, but I responded, I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And she was like, so good. I was like, okay. And now I bother her like as much as possible.
Oh my God.
But I woke up in like a cold sweat too. I like the notification came in on my phone when I was sleeping. It was like 7:30 in the morning. I woke up like 20 minutes later and I was like for no alarm, nothing. I was just like, something is pulling me awake right now, and I checked my phone and that happened. I was like, what the hell?
You can sense it.
Right, like my body just knew that it was happening.
That's so crazy. Awesome. So you do a lot of work with Taylor Bickett, yes, and you just opened for her.
Yeah.
So how was that experience?
It was great. I mean, Taylor's fans love the fuck out of her. Like, I had a really similar experience with Avery Lynch when I opened for her in New York. Like, they just have some of the best, most loyal, sweetest fans ever, who are like kind enough to extend that kindness to me. But yeah, it's great. I met Taylor through our other friend Karina, who also
I
does
love
music.
her.
She's phenomenal. Yeah, she's the best. So I met Taylor when Karina opened for Jensen McRae in New York. And I'd gone to see them both, but I did not know Taylor was going to be there. And then we all ended up going out after and got to talking. And then, yeah, Taylor like is bouncing around like Nashville, New York, LA all the time. But every time she's here, she's like, hey, like, do you want to hang out? Which I was like, oh, yes. But yeah, we decided, I think the first time we sang together was after she asked me to open for her, which was nuts. I told the story when I was on stage, but she texted me randomly. She had told me that she was planning that tour when we had gone out, and I was like, wow, that's so fun, blah, whatever. And then like a couple weeks after that, she texted me, she was like, hey, like, do you want to open my New York show? And I was like, are you dumb as rocks? Like, what planet would I say no to this? And I was like 100% I'll be there, and I actually was going to be in Miami that weekend. So it was on the 21st, I think, and I was going to be in Miami until the 23rd. And like no hesitation, I was like, yes. And I called my mom, I was like, hey, I'm changing my flight. Like there's just no way I'm missing it. And she was like, you got it. And I changed my flight literally like within 5 minutes. And yeah, it was great.
Awesome. Oh.
Yeah.
That's so cool hearing like she's like your mom is supportive of that and she's not like, oh
Oh,
my gosh, come
yeah.
on.
No, no. It was for my grandmother's birthday, who like peace and love my grandma so much. I got to spend her birthday with her, and it was like I still was there for I think 3 days total, 3, 4 days. Um, but they all understood. I was like, I'm not gonna pass this up. Love you, abuela, so much, but I gotta go.
Um,
That's so sweet.
so you mentioned like doing self tapes and acting and stuff. Are you is that in your near future? Like, are you still gonna pursue that?
I don't know that I would say I do acting. I, I sometimes I have these moments where I'm just like, what if I randomly, what would happen if I just call Taylor up? Like I get these sudden urges to submit myself for like random shows. I just don't know that I have the chops for it. It's something I would love to explore in the future. I don't know that I can say when that would be, but yeah, like musical theater, Broadway, like feature films. There's a movie called Cha Cha Real Smooth by it was a director. His name's Cooper Rafe, I believe, and he's awesome. I've watched literally everything he's ever made. And then Benny Drama just came out with a show called Overcompensating. Both of those are very have like elicited the same feeling in me of like, oh my god, I want to do that, which is a weird side quest, but potentially, yeah. We'll see. I'm just like I love to be inspired by different forms of art outside of music. Whether or not those are things that I can legitimately pursue, we will see. But yeah.
Cool. Um, so did you used to be a style advisor at Aritzia?
Yes, I was.
So what does that job entail?
Oh my God. I work. This is hilarious because up until I mean, no, I still do this. I worked at Aritzia in Boston when I was in college. I think for like 6, 7 months total. And I, to this day, that was like 5 years ago. To this day, I'll bring it up whenever I can. Anytime I'm like, oh my God, there's my place of work, and I talk about like the products as if I still work there. I'm like, oh my God, like our new line. What? I don't work there. I haven't worked there in 5 years. Yeah, I was an entry level style advisor, but honestly, I had so much anxiety working on the floor that like 2 or 3 months in, I just like started flexing to all the other positions. So I was like working in the fitting room and at the cash register and like in the back room because I just like didn't like the competitive nature of selling, but I loved the job. I honestly I would go back in a heartbeat, but it is really a lot in New York. Like the Soho location is a nightmare. Like it is. I go in sometimes to shop. I can't even be there to do my shopping. Like I can't imagine working. Um, yeah, it's cool. I mean, when I was working there, it was like all women, like every single employee there. So yeah, I mean, it was great. It was a fun time to kiki with with the girl. But I didn't even answer your question. The job basically I would like piece together. We would start people. That's what it's called. You basically like when a client comes into the store, like they come up to you, like they're like, "Hey, can I get a fitting room started for you?" That was me. That was my job. Yeah, and then you'd be like required to piece together like 4 or 5 other items to set them up on the bar for the fitting room. So that's what I did there.
You're scary. Oh my God.
So you talked about being at Berkeley and like some people like seeing Lizzie McAlpine there and stuff. But who do you think is your like favorite person or the coolest person you've met at Berkeley?
Coolest person I met at Berkeley. Probably Cisco Swank. um, Cisco's great. He's so funny, and now he's New York based. He was, I think, a year or two above me, but really all of my friends were cool. Like, I, I think people assume Berkeley by nature would be a lot more competitive and like shady and weird. But when you're there, there's not a whole lot of that. I mean, you go through your like regular friendship fallouts and like mishaps and missteps because it's college and you're like 18 through 22, which is a really tough span of time. But otherwise, like, people are generally very supportive. I loved all of my professors, almost all my professors, and I loved almost everyone. There's like hardly anyone from there that I didn't fuck with, to be super honest. So really, like, anybody that you still see me hang around that went to Berklee, I'm like, they're all the coolest people that I know.
We just talked to David yesterday, and he was talking about you and how much
Oh,
he
I
loved you.
love David. David and I had our guitar class together. I learned nothing. I'm so sorry, Professor Walton. Oh my God. Professor Walton, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry I didn't do any of my work for that class. Guys, I got out of that school by the skin of my teeth. Like, I don't know how I managed, but I graduated.
That's
Oh,
all that
That's what matters.
matters.
Yeah, that's
so
all that
funny.
matters. So for the first time, like last week or like really recently, you had your first radio performance, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
how
yeah.
was that experience, and like how did you get involved with that?
Yeah, it was super cool. I think it was last Wednesday. So my friend Romy has this slot booked from 5 to 6 on this like small local Brooklyn radio. And yeah, I like went in person and we sat down. There's like a whole, what's it called? Panel, I guess,
Mhm.
like a sound mixing panel and like a ton of little microphones. It was really quick and I like it was cool to experience for the first time like what it's like to be in the radio setting because I've known nothing about that world. But yeah, she came in and was like, "All right, you ready to go?" And I was like, "Yes, yes, I am." But no, it was super chill. I think it's not as nerve-wracking as one would assume because even though it's like live on air, there's no one watching you. Like you're in a room with like yourself and the person who's hosting, and it's like singing in your room. So it was really fun, honestly. And the setup that Romy has going on Popsic is really cool because it's like half radio play, half interview. So I got to talk a little bit and like she got to ask me questions about myself and my music, but it was like also I brought in like my favorite songs and we got to listen to them
Aw.
on air. So it was still like a lot of music radio play and yeah, it was a cool little hour that we spent together. I listened back to it because I'm a narcissist and it was like I was listening because they're all my favorite songs that I brought in. So I was like, yes, like but yeah, it was really cool.
Oh my gosh, I
That's so
love it.
cute. Wow. That sounds so fun. Kind of wrapping up. So since our podcast is like all about discouraging gatekeeping of smaller artists, what
Mm.
like smaller underground artists do you think people should be listening to right now?
There's so many. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I would recommend that any person listening or watching this, um, go through my Instagram like following or go through who I'm following on TikTok or who I'm reposting. Like I'm constantly trying to push those people to the front of anything I'm doing. But like, I mean, there's Mori Dresselheis, there's I mean, I wouldn't even consider these like small underground artists because to me they're like my whole world. So I take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, Marie, Karina, David's another one. Who else? I've been listening to Molly Payton, Cece Coakley.
Mhm.
Um, who else? There's so many more. Like I'd have to. Oh, my friend Daniela Faith, she's awesome. She put out a single recently called Abrasive, which is like I think the best song on planet Earth. Um, I mentioned Karina already, yeah. Who else? So many. There's so many. How I should have prepared for this. I knew this question was coming, and I still didn't prepare for it.
It's okay.
There's so many more I know too.
Great list. Yeah.
Okay. So this is like a similar question, so you can get more people.
Okay.
But have you seen the ice bucket challenge that was going around on Instagram?
Yes. Yeah, I have.
Wait, did you do it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so here's your opportunity. Um, so for our podcast, we like to do nominations. So I was wondering if you could nominate three artists that you think we should interview next.
Ooh. Okay, three artists to interview next. I would say my best friend and my roommate Anthony DeBella. He's like someone I always want to platform because he's doing something that not a lot of people are right now. He's like this 6 foot tall gay man and he's making like the sickest pop, disco infused, 80 infused music and he's really fucking great. He would be a great choice. Um, who else?
I love his music, by the
Marie.
way. I just wanted to say.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, I love his
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, he's great. He's also got some good stuff cooking too. We just did like a shoot yesterday for like promo content. Anyways, who else? Marie is like one of my favorite just people on earth in general. She is just so soft spoken as well and like so intentional about everything she does with her artistry. So she'd be a great one to do. And then I feel like I'm missing so many people. I'm gonna be so mad when I watch this back. Who else? A third one, a third one.
You can look on your phone if you'd like to.
Right, I'm like, who? I can open my phone and see 8 million people too, I'm sure. It's like everyone that I follow. Um, oh my god, Anya Trumore is another
Oh my
one.
gosh, yes.
Pause, you guys. Wait, wait, guys, please,
We're waiting.
please.
Don't worry. No worry.
Take
Don't
all the
do it.
time we need.
Yes, we have 4 minutes and 48 seconds.
Gorge, literally gorge. Um, yeah, Karina also perfect. Um, who else have I been listening to recently? That's like a better way to also go about this. Because there's been a couple indies that have been on repeat. Oh, my friend Entafon makes really great music as well.
Mhm.
She'd be good to have on here. Like all I've been listening to is like Amine's new albums. I'm like,
Oh yes.
I'm like, try to get Adrian Lenker on the show.
Oh my gosh, we love
Yes.
to.
Guys, there's so many more. Oh, Romy put me onto Maya Folic recently.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal album. Like I'm actually in disbelief. Wow, so much Adrian Lenker. Am I good? I'm looking through like things that I've been listening to. I know there's so many more. Truman Sinclair,
Oh my gosh, I love him.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Atwater.
Oh my gosh.
Like if I open up my TikTok to my friends, Hannah Mundine, another
Oh,
great
I
one.
love
I
Hannah
love
so
Hannah.
much.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
she's just awesome. Perfect. Oh, Ruby Plume.
Oh, we're
We're
interviewing her on
Ruby.
Wednesday. Oh my gosh, my
Um,
bestie.
Yeah, she's great. Who else? Kayla Grace. I don't know if you guys know her.
Yes, I love Kayla.
My friend Kiara is also really cool.
Mhm.
She just put out something pretty recently too. I'm going through all of my friends on
They're
TikTok.
gonna be mad. They're gonna like, why didn't you say my name?
No, right? I'm like, fuck. Like, I know I'm gonna mess this up. So this is like how people must feel when like they're thinking, they're like making dedications at award shows when they win something. It's like you forget everybody, and I'm like, oh, Emma Anderson.
Oh, I love Emma.
Yeah, honestly, if you look through anyone that I follow
Mhm.
that does music, I'm like vouching for them. So
Awesome.
that's my list, and there's 10,000 more, and I'm gonna try and like figure out a way to highlight those people a lot better on my front-facing socials because I feel like it's important, and I don't do it enough. At this point, I just have like so many of my mutual friends are doing music. It's like really hard to keep up with all of the releases, and they're all perfect and they're all super talented. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, if you want to like look out for people that I would recommend, not just you guys, but anybody watching this, I'm typically posting about them on my Instagram or reposting their shit on TikTok. So that's the best way to
Yeah,
do it.
I love
Cool.
that.
Right.
Okay, we have like barely any time, but this is just a bonus question. Um, could you possibly in someday like post a guitar tutorial of the Daddy outside in the woods, like that song?
Oh yeah, if I can remember how to play it. A lot.
Or even you don't have to post it, like you could just DM us and let me know. Like I want to cover it so bad.
best the best thing about me is that I never write down what I'm playing ever. And as you heard me say, I like almost nearly failed that guitar class, so I never know like what chords I'm playing either. But if I figure it out, I will absolutely do that for you.
Okay. Brianna, do you have any final thoughts?
Um, Thank you so much for joining us. This
Oh
was
my
so
god, thank you
fun.
guys for inviting me. This was so fun. I'm sorry, it
Of
like went by
course.
in a flash, I feel like. It was so
I did.
Um, Amor, do you have any final thoughts?
No, that's I think I said everything that I wanted.
Yeah. Okay, guys, follow her in the description below. All of her links will be there. Okay, bye, Mori. We love chatting with
Bye.
you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.